All right, hold on, guys. I'm trying to do a thing. Woohoo! All right. So this boy going to be the one to be quarterback for Cleveland. Oh, going to be incomplete on the left side though. Sorry about that. Either way, Tinu gonna be rolling left. He's gonna be backed up quite a bit though, thanks to these Cleveland defensive ends. And he's going deep. It's gonna be a 2v2. Unfortunately, gonna be intercepted by Six-Way Stody. Or Six-Ways Toady? I don't know. I don't know where the S is supposed to be, but either way though, Cleveland gets the ball, and right now New Orleans has the lead 13-0 at the moment. But thanks to that interception, this could be a game changer that Cleveland could need here to turn this game around. Sorry, I just haven't really been that focused lately. And it's going to be a touchdown for Cleveland just like that. Oh, wait, no, it's a pick six. Never mind. I wasn't looking entirely until I was like, hey, a touchdown happened. And it was just, oh, it's New Orleans. All right, well, this boy, here we go. This is not looking very good for Cleveland, though, at the moment. But let's see if they can turn it around. Okay, they do get a catch, though, to Unicorn. And they are at the 1 yard line. This is a very huge opportunity for Cleveland if they can score here. And Six-Ways is going to get the touchdown. And finally, Cleveland is on the board, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if Cleveland can continue this momentum as soon as the extra point. All right, here we go. Kame, going to be the one to get the kick with 30 seconds left into the first quarter. We're going to see if New Orleans can keep their offensive momentum in check. Although, since New Orleans does have the player advantage, they cannot run the football in any way via handoff or quarterback run. However, that does put Cleveland at a disadvantage as well, since they could only have one rusher. And it's going to be caught by Emerald. His name was so long, I could barely read it. But either way, Tinu, with plenty of time. I mean, let's see if he can do anything with it. He's going to try to find the fold. thankfully is able to catch it. IG Quantuan just made it look super easy. And with the last play of the first quarter, he's going to try to toss it back and statically going to get another touchdown for New Orleans, continuing to make this a 20-point game. As we speak, New Orleans is not going to let up at all for Cleveland to come back at the moment. But let's see what will happen next, as Cleveland will be the ones to get the ball. Here we go, Cleveland up. Oh man, those LOSs are certainly a bit hard to execute, especially, which is a bit odd because a player usually stands there. They can be a little hard to execute at times, depending on if you're under pressure or not. But either way, Cleveland able to fire one of 6 ways. He has definitely been the #1 target so far in this game for Cleveland. But let's see if they can find a way to get a touchdown here. Everyone's pretty well covered, unless it's going to be to Tyrone. Going to only get 5 yards on that gain. Was very close to getting a touchdown there. But it will be a 2nd and goal at the 1-yard line. Can this boy find a way to give it to someone on this Browns team? Unfortunately not. Greeds and holds the ball for too long, and he's going to get sacked by this New Orleans defensive ends. And it looks like he's going to try a fade down the right side, and no, he does not get it. And it looks like Cleveland is just going to settle for a field goal from the looks of it. And thankfully they do make the kick, so it will be a 9-27 lead for New Orleans. I mean, so far this has looked very solid. Hi, Diana. But either way, though, I mean, so far New Orleans has... Oh, okay, well, I lagged a little bit there. But either way, Chucky going to get it on the left side. Okay, the server has not been great for me, I'm going to be honest. How did I get 2,000 ping? Okay, I'm getting, am I getting DDoSed now? Is this how it is? Okay, well, either way, it's going to be statically on left fold. Almost everyone went fold there, just completely wide open. Just able to completely fool this Cleveland defense with a wide variety of offenses. This is no doubt why New Orleans are pretty much the best team in the league, arguably. And right now they're showing it off really well. You know, it's very surprising with Cleveland coming off of a huge upset against Green Bay. You know, everyone thought Green Bay was going to be one of the best teams, but so it definitely shocked a lot of us. But either way, Cleveland also proving themselves to be quite a good team. But right now, New Orleans has just been getting the better of them so far this game. And this one is going to be no different with Chucky with the touchdown. And now it's a 33-9 lead for Cleveland. Cleveland needs to find a way to get something going. right, but let's see what... Uh-oh, no, I'm getting DDoSed again, no. All right, this boy going to give it to the right side to Limitless, but just going to be incomplete. Couldn't quite touch inbounds. I might have to, like, rejoin the server when it's halftime. Because holy crap, this ping is not doing me anything right now. But either way, this boy... Okay, I'm lagging quite a bit again. But he's going to try to give it to the left fold. I think was trying to find Limitless there, but couldn't quite get it, and that's a 3 and out immediately for Cleveland. I am secretly getting DDoSed. I wonder if anyone else is lagging other than me, because I feel like that could definitely be a interesting game changer for anyone affected. But either way, IG Quantuan just gonna get it on the LOS immediately. And right now, this has just been an absolute tear from New Orleans. As a team that's just been on a complete rampage, actually. In terms of winning, they've pretty much beaten almost every team except for Miami. And even then, they only lost to Miami by like 2 points. So Miami and New Orleans are definitely still the two favorites to get to the championship for sure. Maybe Green Bay could also follow up, but that depends on who they're facing and if depending on how that game goes. But there's also other teams too that are pretty solid. I mean, Houston's pretty solid. Cleveland's also a really good team. I know this game is not looking like in their favor, but do not mistake this game though. They're definitely a very solid team. They're just in a player disadvantage, which isn't really helping them at all, which it's not ideal against one of the best teams in the league, I will say that. Oh, but how did that go right through him? That's pretty wild. But either way, though, I'm looking very good right now. All right, but here we go, Unicorn. Gonna try to return it if he can, and now this boy, with 1 minute and 17 seconds left before halftime, let's see if they can rally this offense here for another score. Preferably to prevent a mercy rule, but like I said, we will see on that. All right, incomplete. And here we go. This ZFG, or this boy, let's see if he can convert on a 3rd and 1. Yes, he can. 6 ways. Going to easily find it. And here we go. Oh, and he finds a wide open man deep, but does he have it? No, he does not. I don't know if the wide receiver jumped early there. I mean, I don't know if the ping threw it off or he just jumped early. Oh, man, that was a wide open touchdown pass, though. Cleveland definitely wants that one back. But either way, that one's going to be popped as well. I mean, so far this has been not a very lucky play there for Cleveland. But let's see if Cleveland can do anything here. He's going to try to find a 2-on-1, And somehow, some way, 6 ways, going to get a touchdown for Cleveland with 23 seconds left in the game. And there you go. A much needed play there for Cleveland. And 6 ways going to easily accomplish that. All right, either way, though, we're going to see what Tinu can do here. And here we go. He's going to end up trying to find a deep throw on the toss, but it's going to be intercepted from Best Will, and that's going to deny a touchdown for New Orleans, and then now it's halftime. Okay, I'm not feeling lag anymore at the moment, so I don't know if I need to leave and rejoin. Thankfully. I'm liking what is happening, though. Whoever that New Orleans player is, this is definitely a fraud watch, but I don't really think it's because Cleveland's bad. I think it's just because I think New Orleans has just been way too good. Wait, does Cleveland now have 8, or do they still have 7? Okay, Cleveland now has 8. So now this is an even game, but let's see if Cleveland can come back from a pretty big deficit. I mean, a 24 point deficit is certainly not an easy one to come back from, even with 2 quarters remaining, given how offensively favored this meta is. But either way, we'll see if New Orleans can do it. But either way, Best Will going to get it on the left fold. I mean, in terms of this meta, though, I mean, it's definitely been it's definitely very impactful for offense, or for you to have a good offense in this game. Defense, not as much, but I mean, it's still kind of important, but I mean, it's just really hard to be a good team if you don't have a good offense, because defense is really weak. So even if you do have a supposedly good defense, it's not exactly going to be good for you as it is compared to a good offense. But either way, this boy, and here we go, Tyrone the third, going to get about 12 yards on that gain. Very beneficial for considering it is a 3rd and 3 now. Tyrone going to catch it and jump dive for 8 yards. And now here we go, this boy. Looking around, seeing what he can find. And okay, that's a very interesting throw there. Just a bit overthrown there, but I guess he was kind of throwing it away. He didn't see anything good that he wanted to throw to, so probably a wise throwaway if that's what he was looking for. And here we go, this boy. I mean, right now we're going to see if this boy can find something here. Unfortunately, that throw ended up in the wrong zip code. And it looks like it's going to be a 4th and goal. Here we go. This boy not able to run thanks to this New Orleans defensive ends, but is going to find this ways, or 6 way. And he's going to get another touchdown to his resume this game so far. Like I said before, 6 way has definitely been the receiver this game for Cleveland. And right now he is proving his case. I can definitely respect Cleveland's ability to try to come back from this. You do not want to miss those kind of kicks, though. Like that. Like, if they give you a chance to get a kickoff like that, you cannot afford to miss those. Because, I mean, I know it may be 1 point, but that could be a game winning or losing scenario, You never know. But you can never miss those. And the walk is going to be popped. Very fortunate break there for Cleveland. I mean, again, Cleveland is definitely going to have to pull out all the stops here on defense if they want to be able to beat this New Orleans. And it looks like he's going to throw it to the ground. Just not going to bother with it. And here we go. Tinu. Gonna be pressured a little bit thanks to this Browns defensive ends, but the O-line is able to provide some pretty good help. And is gonna find Will with three New Orleans players crowded around. I mean, it's pretty likely one of them is gonna be able to catch it compared to the one Cleveland defender. So not much help on the left deep. And here we go. Looks like it's gonna be a fold, and it's gonna be to Chucky. Very good play there by Tinu, able to just fit it right in between both defenders on the left side. Any lower or higher, and that would have been a turnover instantly. And apparently that ball was going to go to Jay, but unfortunately couldn't get it because it went right through him. And Emerald just completely wide open there. And just like that, New Orleans trying to their best to just prevent a comeback from happening against Cleveland. I mean, and I can understand why. Cleveland is not by any means a bad team. So I could definitely understand what is happening. All right, but let's see if Cleveland can maybe still continue to score here. Again, they definitely have been having a bit more struggles compared to New Orleans, but either way, FWKJ going to just get an open lane there on the left side, and that's going to be a 52-yard gain immediately on the first play. I mean, that couldn't be any better for Cleveland, and just like that, that's going to be a touchdown for Best Will, and that will give them another score for Cleveland. But again, they're going to need some help on the defensive side with a turnover or two. But again, in terms of their offense, they are firing at all cylinders at the moment because Cleveland made that look a little too easy on that drive. I mean, this has just been an excellent performance from both teams so far, but New Orleans right now still continuing to get the better of Cleveland by holding on to their lead that they got early in the game. And again, New Orleans is one of those teams that they're very hard to come back from once they get a lead. Because they can snowball very well. I know they don't have I know there's no RPG stats or anything crazy like that, but like they play very consistent. They do not fumble a lot, so you definitely want to take advantage of any mistake they can make here. And this is not going to be one of them. Emerald going to get it on the right fold. And so far, this has been a masterclass performance from this New Orleans offense so far, and limiting the amount of turnovers or unnecessary turnovers. But so I mean, I have to give credit where it's due. But Cleveland is definitely doing a good job fighting back. But will it be too little, too late? We shall see on that. And it's going to be Will. He's going to get it on the LOS. Is going to get tackled by the Cleveland short or MLB. Whoever was there, I don't know who exactly it was, but Oh, and it's gonna give it a Chucky again on the bubble. Not gonna get as far as he did before though, only about a gain of 4 or 5 yards. And here we go, Emerald going to get another touchdown there. Wasn't quite as open, but thankfully a very good throw can make up for that. I mean, like I said, a good throw just beats any defensive coverage, no matter how well it is. And, well, that's definitely one of the examples. Case and point. And so far, this has been, I don't know if I'd say a blowout, but it's definitely been looking like one. But, I mean, again, Cleveland is going to have to step up defensively. Sorry, but either way, background noise was happening. But this boy, going to see if he can find anyone wide open. Oh, was looking for the right fold there, but just a little bit misfired. Or a little bit misplaced there on the right side. But here we go. This boy on a second 15 is going to give it to Tyrone. Only going to be good for about a 6-yard gain there. He didn't seem to have dived in time to gain more yardage, but I guess Cleveland is just going to take what they can get here. And now ZFG going to find 6 ways. And just like that, he's on into the races. Let's see if he can get it. No, he gets tackled by a New Orleans defender, but thankfully is going to get the first down for Cleveland. So fortunately, that ended up just being damage control. But either way, that one won't be. Best will going to get a touchdown for Cleveland. And just like that, this has been looking now very offensive, scoring oriented for sure. Can we get a new meta though, please? I'm tired of seeing the same stuff every game. I mean, no offense to either of these teams, they're playing great, but I'm just exhausted, man. I'm just exhausted because it feels like the more you watch these kind of games, it feels like when you've seen or played one, it feels like you've seen or played them all. You know, like there really isn't a lot of variance. I don't know. We just need a new meta change, man. That's all I have. Oh, and it looks like there's going to be a little play clock for New Orleans or Cleveland. I think it might be for New Orleans. Here, let me look. Nope, New Orleans is 8. It seems that they're just trying to strategize here, it seems. Maybe not necessarily player substitutions. It seems that Cleveland is just trying to maybe group up and rally here. Just try to PC check Grim. Oh, I guess there's maybe some cheating accusations flying around. Uh-oh. So there's so reportedly there's been some accusations of cheating. Yeah, they're PC checking Grim. Well, I don't think streaming for UFL is gonna make it much different. I mean, maybe it'll be more competitive because, like, I know they get that kind of thing because a lot of good players are typically banned for some reason. But I don't think it'll really change much. Like, the meta is still gonna be relatively the same. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I have nothing against UFL. I mean, even aside from their thing to keep alters and ban evaders, but even aside from that, like, I don't feel like that'd make it much different for me. I have no quarrels with them, and I'm not gonna say like, oh, I hate UFL. I'm not streaming them for that exact reason, but it's more of just I don't think that would really help, you know. I know they're cool. Like they have competitive games. Like we're probably more arguably more competitive than CFL. I've seen a couple of their streams, so I know how competitive they are compared to CFL. But it's also kind of I think CFL is just I feel like leagues in general. I wouldn't say just CFL. I think it's just really hard to make a league, especially a community made league, and like take it seriously because a lot of like teams just leave after 1 to 2 losses. Like even if there's a Super Bowl prize, everyone's just gonna leave, and then a bunch of teams like because in CFL we had like 14 to 16 teams, and then now we have like 7 or 8 because people just took one bad loss from a good team, and then they just left, and then there's like no massive punishment for it, and there's no like risk behind it. Like yeah, you maybe get suspended, but like you're not probably gonna play ever after those 2 games. So it's like, or they just leave the server anyways. So it's like, what's the point? So that's why I'm kind of like always having a hard time with like the fundamental differences of it, where it's just I don't feel like a league format is really like what I think competitive football legends should be at the moment, just because like it's not in. I don't think Football Legends is that sophisticated of a competitive game yet that the devs are investing on. Like if they were like fully invested in the league, like and they were like paying players like Robux contracts or whatever, like maybe it could be something, but and have like franchise owners or whatever, like have it be like an actual like esports league, like maybe, but like I don't know if Football Legends competitively has gotten enough um, attention to really have that. Doing a 9v9 league too soon to spread out things. 9v9 league is kind of interesting. I've seen it a little bit with NFL UF. Um, I don't think again. I don't think it really changed much either. It just you just add like a third rusher probably, and then that's kind of it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I hate it or anything. It's more of just I don't think it would really like satisfy it enough. You know. I mean, I do think Basketball Legends could maybe get away with a league system, just because like a official league system, just because like Basketball Legends is typically like way more popular than Football Legends right now. So maybe it could work with Basketball Legends, but I think for Football Legends, I feel like major tournaments or like more sophisticated tournaments would probably be like more on pace with it. There will be variety as to what you can do in an IB9 league. But a lot of it's still just kind of like streaks and folds on offense, maybe like a check down or LOS every now and then you just see like cover three with 3 safeties. It's just a 3-3-3 coverage every game, and you're gonna see that all the time. Like it doesn't feel I don't feel like it diversifies the meta enough. Because I've seen it in um NFL UF and it's the exact same meta as this one we have now. And that's why I say all the time of like they're fundamentally like the same game. Like that's sort of why I say like maybe not in every single element possible, but I feel like NFL UF, Football Fusion 2, and Football Legends like they're all the same game to me, like gameplay wise, because it feels like they don't. really stand out much from each other, like outside of like maybe visuals. Like it's still just the same jump, catch, dive, throw. Like maybe there's like different aim stuff, but again, it's like it's super like nitpicky and like very specific to where like it doesn't really change the whole fundamentals of the game. Like I think that's probably what Football Legends' problem right now. I think it just lacks a ton of depth to be like really competitive because there's not really a lot of like strategy or diversity. It's just kind of you play whoever plays the best strategy, whoever plays said strategy the best wins. It just feels like that. And I get there's always going to be a meta. Don't get me wrong, but it's a meta that's been happening for like more than 5 years. Like it just kind of gets old, you know. What about an LFG? It's still kind of the same. Like LFG, like and it like mean like the Football Fusion League. I think it's still kind of the same story. I've seen league games there too. It's still the same meta from what I've looked. Like unless it just magically changed overnight, which I doubt it, but I'm not gonna hold my breath on that. But like that's why I had quite a bit of fun with I'm not saying like Football Legends should be this like copy and paste, but that's why I liked Superstar Football. Not Football Stars, it's Superstar Football. Or is that what it's called? Like Superstar Football, or is it like Football Zero? It's either one. And it had like cool like builds and abilities where like I mean yeah, it was in a gotcha system, so that was obviously a big minus for me. But it gave you like certain like styles they called it, and it had like certain builds. Like you had like some had better blocking stats, some had better speed, and some gave you like completely unique abilities based on what thing you had, and that was really cool because it gave you something that no other character, no other style or character can just do. So that's what I found really unique. Off topic, your voice was made for commentary. Honestly, I would thrive really well in Basketball Legends. Like even when I don't know much about it, I feel like if Basketball Legends was ever like, if I ever uh made like Basketball Legends like an official competitive scene, I feel like I could because Basketball Legends is really really popular. But either way, Chucky just gonna magically get a touchdown. I don't know if the PC check is over or what's happening. Has anything happened so far with But yeah, I really do want to see. I mean, as much as I like Football Legends, I do want to also see Basketball Legends become competitive as well at some point. I just don't know how to do that because again, like Basketball Legends, I don't think it's good enough to have a league. I don't think it's big enough to have a league or a sophisticated league that players would invest in because it needs to have like proven investment from developers to being like, yeah, this is what people want to see. Because like having like an entire esports league is just like really ambitious. There's a league in BL. Yeah, but I'm talking like an official league. Like an official competitive scene, like not like a community made BL league. Because I mean, I'm not like immediately shutting down leagues because they're still fine. I think it's just really hard to make them official without like a massive amount in investment in terms of like Robux and like player retention, and obviously it's not associated, but it's not associated with daily sports. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like I mean, I wouldn't say. I mean, CFL is technically affiliated, so they are associated with it technically. But I wish Cap was up here. He kept CFL alive. I have not seen Cap in a while. I was wondering why it was kind of empty. Yeah, although I'm not gonna say I'm not part of the problem. But then again, I mean, my drive to play has just kind of dropped immensely as well. Not because of Cap, just because of just like the problems I mentioned before. Like the only thing I know is that the developers are working on pro servers, which aren't really gonna affect leagues at all, from what I've heard. Because all it just is just servers for like high overall people. Like I don't like again, like I mean, don't get me wrong, I get it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't have a problem with pro servers, but I just feel like I don't feel like it's what the game needs at the moment if we're considering like CFL or if we're considering the competitive scene to grow. I don't even know if Basketball Legends really needs it because they have ranked. Like, I mean, I get for Football Legends, but I don't know why you just don't make ranked for Football Legends. I guess it's a bit harder because there's more players than just a 5v5. Used to have a main league for FL, but I heard it got nuked. Hmm. Was it UFL or was it like a different league? It's called UBFL. Hmm. I guess I wasn't there at that time when I saw it, so yeah, like a year or two ago. Yeah, I probably wasn't like as active on it at the time. Speaking of which, touchdown for Chucky. Sorry, I haven't really been like focusing on the game that much. Sorry if I'm like rambling on off topic. But yeah. Like honestly, I feel like what would help Football Legends if it just had like a balance update. Like just buff and nerf some things. Like I don't really know what you buff and nerf for Basketball Legends because again, I don't play it. I don't know what the meta is, or if there even is one. I mean, I think I have a good idea on what to do. I think the problem is that the reason why I don't think balance changes are ever really done, hardly, or at least not as much in other Roblox football games, is just because of like it's kind of a risky thing and it's mostly only beneficial long term. Oh, interception by Kame just completely yoinked it. Yeah. But yeah, it's more of a long term benefit to balance it. It's because mostly just meant to cap look, I'm streaking the field. Oh boy. But yeah, but it's mostly meant to help the game long term, and it's not a guarantee it'll do that. Can really just mess up gameplay sometimes. Yeah, that too. Like yeah, it can help long term, but it can also like backfire immensely and just make the game worse than it already is. Oh, interception there from 6 way. But yeah, again, like you have to be careful with it. You know, it's not something you can just play. You can just play with on a whim. I'm not saying like change random stuff, but I feel like I have a good idea on what needs to be changed. I don't know if it would entirely uh change the meta though, or even like fix it to make it more balanced. Because again, I also kind of think too that, like I said before, I don't think the game has enough depth to really give Football Legends enough levers to change it fundamentally without like completely changing how the game works. And don't get me wrong, there are some ways you can, but it'd be really tricky to do so. So that's why a lot of that's why a lot it's that's why these kind of games can be hard to balance because there's no like immediate answer. because there's nothing you can really change without like crazy balancing the game. So it is a little bit tricky in that way. Not saying it is impossible because I do know ways to buff and nerf things without like making it crazy, but it is a bit trickier in that way, especially for something like a wide receiver, because wide receiver you have nothing really unique to it. Because every player has the same catch hitbox, same movement speed, same jump height, whatever. So like how do you change wide receiver without changing everything else? Like you really can't. Because you change one thing, other things are going to get affected. Unless you just add like a completely new mechanic to it. What a juke there by Will though. Yeah, it just has so much time and resources to really like do. And it's not a short-term thing either though, because it doesn't really sell battle passes, it doesn't sell skins or items or trails. If you had something to FL, what would you add? Um I've thought about this for a while. I guess now that I'm talking. I've thought about this for a while. I did show it to Evil, which is like one of the devs. I've talked about it. I talk a lot with him. I think it's a he, right? I'm assume it's a he. Sorry if I uh say it's false, if that's not correct. But either way, I did tell him something about you. Do you know Sonic Racing Cross Worlds with their gears? I think they call it. So if you know about gears and Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, they're basically little things you can put on like a little gear slot card, and there's 6 slots on a gear slot card. Sorry, background noise. But either way, but yeah, so each gear has 1 to 3 slots that would take up um a gear card. So a gear card would have 6 slots, and a gear can have 1 to 3 slots based on how powerful they are. So the ones that would take up 1 slot would be um but not as powerful or would have like a cost. I guess same with the 2 star one too. I guess the same with the 2 slot one and the 3 star one too. But they can have like certain passives, active abilities, or just buffs to certain things. And you can kind of play. What in the world was that? Was that guy floating? It's a bit hard for me to explain it because I'm not very good at explaining things specifically, but it's essentially where you can change how you're building your character based on how you want to play and like what position. So you could have like gears that boost your speed, maybe jump height, and maybe they both come with a cost. You could give a player active abilities that you can have, maybe increase stats, maybe a passive ability that activates over time, or maybe one that stacks. I don't know, but just I just basically, if you know the gears thing, like to just have it like be like a Football Legends version of it from Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, and boom, that's probably what I would add most. Ultimate Football? No, I don't think of Ultimate Football has that. No, Ultimate Football doesn't have that. At least I don't think. Ultimate Football, that's more for items, not really like it doesn't really like change gameplay elements, so no. Not like Ultimate Football. Yeah. Is it called the Gears mechanic? I never really like looked at it. Oh, gadgets. It's gadgets, not gears. My bad. They're gadgets. Okay, here. Let me see if I can find it. Uh, UF had like also wish FL had a SWAT of the game. UF had a one-handed catch mechanic, yeah, but it doesn't really affect anything. Like it's just an animation. It doesn't affect the catch hitbox or anything. Like all it does is just makes the animation different. It doesn't affect the catch hitbox. And also that wouldn't really be much of a benefit outside of it looks cool. So yeah, there's that too. With the game about to be over, I'm about to show let's see if I can show an image real quick. Up with 4 seconds left. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Here, Ada would look kind of like this. I'm sure it's not a big deal if I put it in the bottom corner. But yeah, it's going to be end of game. Here, let me get the stats real quick. Just making sure you could see. Oh. Okay, real quick. Ow, my ears. My ears again. All right, but yeah. But yeah, so basically it would look, sorry, to answer the question though. Congratulations for Saints for winning though, 72-40. Sorry if I was a little distracted that game. But basically it would look like this. So like you have like certain gadgets that can like give you certain things like better drifting or give you like certain passives based on like how you want to build your character. And there's like 6 slots. So these two take 2 slots and these two would take one. So that's what it would mostly be. Like if there was like a bunch of like those kind of like the gadgets mechanic on like Football Legends, that'd actually be really cool if it was added. I'd argue kind of the same for Basketball Legends, but I don't know how that would work exactly because I'm a bit more familiar with Football Legends. But I feel like there's a lot of ways you can like bounce around it. But yeah, either way though, very nice game. Forever for the Saints. Congratulations for them winning, and hopefully they can get to the championship. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. You never know. It kind of has that system in it already, but wouldn't people just use the meta gadget? Yeah, that's kind of the thing, but there's also ways, but there's also like counters, but there could also be like counters to other gadgets as well, or be certain gadgets that counter other gadgets, or maybe counter other strategies, either stuff like that. So I mean, I guess if one is like blatantly overpowered, then like sure, but it's also kind of you only get one gadget, so you can only build around like so if you want to build around like wide receiver, you can only build around wide receiver, or stuff for that wide receiver benefit from, you can only see it from that, that kind of thing. But yeah, I don't really have much else to really say because the game's already over. So would it apply to both offense or defense or just one way? Um, a bit of it depends on it. I would say it depends on the gadget because some would benefit only offense, some would benefit defense, and some might benefit both. Although maybe at a like reduced enhancement, obviously. So maybe not. So I would say it just depends on the gadget, or it depends on the ability or whatever. I think the ones that go both ways will probably be like not as effective, or like not as effective than it would be for like exclusively that. Again, it's just a concept. I'm not saying it's like it would fix every issue, but I think it's just something I wish we could try out, but I feel like it would take a lot of time to make. So I don't know if it'll ever happen, but it would also be cool. So, but yeah, I don't know what else I can really say outside of this because the game's over. But yeah, I'm just gonna end it here, I guess. So, thank you guys for watching though, and I will see you guys later. Wahoo!